A very good afternoon to you all, and I must say that I've been really looking forward to this event, and it's really an honor for me to be with you all. But basically, I had an opportunity to serve the country as a public servant for many, many years. But since March 2024, last year, I am on a new journey as a private citizen and trying to explore and learn about the subject of creativity. Why I'm doing this is because I started to believe creativity is going to be the most important competency today, definitely, but more so in 21st century, as we prepare for 21st century. So therefore, I've been exploring, learning, and I'm happy to share that I have even completed writing a book on creativity. And it's not a lie, because this is my book cover, and is titled as Creativity, Time to Crown Again, Critical Competency for 21st Century and Beyond, and Cosmos. And I even started to call myself as a creativity catalyst. So who is a creativity catalyst? Creativity catalyst is a person who helps others to discover their creativity potential. So this is what I'm hoping to do. The next half an hour, I'm hoping to encourage you all, to inspire you all to become a more creative, if you are already a creative, or if you are not yet unleash your creativity potential. I hope to inspire you all to unleash your creativity potential and then start becoming a creativist. So for next half an hour, we are together in a journey, helping each other to discover your creativity potential. But when we talk about creativity, again, I have to share this. Your school, of course, we have teachers from lower secondary school also, but particularly Dechin Semo Center School, I've been observing you all stand out actually in terms of creativity amongst the various schools in the country, because I've been following your and principals' social media posts, and you have been always doing something or other, some new things. So I believe this is the credit goes to the creative leadership of your principal, Namgil Sering, and of course with due support from all the teachers and particularly you students also. I think you are providing full support. So therefore, from my humble observation, this school stands out in terms of creativity. So let's give a round of applause to yourself. Okay, so now we'll go into creativity. When you all talk about creativity, when you hear creativity, when somebody asks you what is creativity, what comes into your mind? Let me jot it here. It can be a word or a couple of words. So please say your word. Maybe you want to raise your hand and then give me a word or words that you would use to define or describe creativity. Come on, boys and girls, give me some words here. Okay, doesn't exist. Okay, doesn't exist. Some more. Okay, out of the box. Okay, innovation. Okay, some more. One from that side. Imagination. But now we will stop this for a while, and now we'll do a short exercise which will basically gauge or tell where you all stand as an individual in this creativity path. Okay, are you ready for a short test? So we'll do with this short exercise. There are 5 statements here. I'll read it for you. First statement is, I often ask, what if? Or why not? Second statement, I have tried creating something, a story, a solution, a meme, or anything in the past month. The third is, I enjoy solving problems in a unique ways. Fourth, I'm not afraid of failing if the idea is exciting. Fifth, I think creativity is a learnable skill. Now, these are the 5 statements. I want you all to answer yes or no. But you have to be honest, yeah? So if you say, you give yourself 1 mark, if you say yes to 1, and if you give all yes to these 5 statements, then you get 5. You score yourself 5. Similarly, if you answer no to all these 5 statements, you get 0. Okay? So these are your marks, and so you score for yourself and remember your score. Okay, la? And we have a principal and teachers here. Please don't worry. Even if you get 0 or even if you get 5, this will not influence your examinations results. Okay? So don't worry of the scoring. But what is important is you have to be honest. You have to answer what is right for you. If you agree, yes. If you don't agree, no. Now let's try to see. Please raise your hand if you have given yourself 4 or 5. Please raise your hand. Okay, we have what? Around 15. Now you can keep it down. Now those of you who have given yourself 4 or 5, what it means is, this is basically a self-creativity check. This means you are already on a creativity path. In fact, you can already call yourself as a creativist. So now let's see who has given yourself 2 and 3. 2 and 3. Okay, so majority seems to be 2 and 3. That is very good, because those who have scored 2 and 3, it means you have a huge potential to be a creativist. Okay, la? That's waiting to be untapped. That is waiting to be unleashed. So it's very good that most of you are in that category. So those, you need not raise your hand. Those who are in, who have given 0 and 1, these are the people who are not yet convinced. They are not really sure about creativity. So in fact, this session will be most useful for this. And as I said earlier, by the end of this session, we expect you all to be more creativists, or if you are not, you start becoming creatives. What is happening here is, basically, this is your own, here we are also talking about what we call as creative confidence. So when those who have got 4 and 5 doesn't mean they are the most creative, but basically what it says is they are more confident in terms of creativity. There's a term called creative confidence. So those who are less, they are less confidence in terms of creativity. And because you have a low creative confidence, the reason for having a lower creative confidence is mainly due to, they say, 3 myths. There are 3 big myths on creativity. So let's try to go through that. And from today, these myths will be busted, and instead, then we will try to replace this with the truths. So 3 myths will be busted and then replaced with the 3 truths on creativity. Okay, la? So the first myth is creativity is only for some special people. That is the biggest myth. Maybe some of you also must be believing that. Oh, we are just a normal student, ordinary citizen, so we are not creative. But the truth is, we are all born creative. We have that. In fact, we human beings differ from the rest of the species on this earth is because of our power of creativity. So we are all born with creative. The only difference is some of us are nurturing it, unleashing it, and most of us are not doing it. So therefore, when you talk about creative people, we are talking about Elon Musk, Zuckerberg, I mean, you talk about all the great people. They are all supposed to be creative, and we have such very few people. So therefore, we always think that, oh, creative is only for the special people. So now from today, please don't think like that. We are all born as creative, and we have that power. Okay, la? So creative is for everybody. The second myth is even more dangerous. Second myth about creativity is, when we talk about creativity, we are just talking about some special skills like art, music, writing, drama. Whenever we talk about creativity, we just immediately go into that. So we say, are you creative? If you are not an artist, if you're not a singer, if you're not a musician, you'll say, no, I'm not a creativist. So this is wrong. This is another second biggest myth. So creativity doesn't refer only to the skills. In fact, whatever we do as a human being, all activity, the way you eat, the way you cook, the way you do farming, the way you study, everywhere. In every human activity, creativity comes in. If this creativity was not there, we human beings 70,000 years ago, we are no different from the apes and chimpanzees and all the animals, yeah. But because of our creativity, after 70,000 years today, we are human beings. We are ruling the whole planet, and that's because of our creativity, lah. So whatever we do is all about creativity. So the second myth, we are saying creativity is not just for the specialized skill. Creativity is for all the human activities. Okay, lah. Now, what is the third myth? The third biggest myth is creativity cannot be learned. As we said earlier, which is true, creativity is born. Yeah, you are born with creativity. That is a myth. But then the third one, we are saying, no, if you are born as a creative, that's it. If you are not born as a creative, then you cannot be learn or train yourself to be creative. So this is wrong. So creativity is something that you can nurture. It can be learned like any other skill. Like for example, how to ride a bicycle. That's a skill. Yeah. Similarly, you can learn yourself to be more creative. Okay, lah. So these are the three myths, and let's try to summarize. So from today, the main takeaway is this: everyone is born creative. Creativity is how you think, act, and solve problems in any field, and one can be trained to be more creative. Now that we have busted these three myths of creativity and adopted these three tools, I hope that we all are now soon going to be great creativists. Now, coming back to this definition, yes, you seem to be very conversant on what creativity means. These are very good. And so many people have defined creativity in so many ways. But I just wanted to share with you one definition that I like, my favorite definition of a creativity. And this definition comes from Mr. Fredrik Haren. Creativity is an act of taking two previously known things and combining them in a new ways. So this definition also says that creativity is not a magic. It's not that something just pops up in your head. For creativity to happen, there has to be an existing knowledge. There has to be an information. There has to be a product. Then you put them together and combine them in a new way. Then you create something new. So that is creativity. Let me illustrate this. But before illustrating this, I just wanted to share that Fredrik Haren, he is from Sweden, one of the world's top speaker on creativity. He calls himself as a creativity explorer. I call myself as a creativity catalyst. Yeah, and I'm happy to share with you all that he is my creativity mentor. Let me illustrate this definition, okay? Now, what is this? This is a trolley, yeah? These are mostly seen in the airports and all, to put your luggage, and then there are wheels. So this is the what? This is the luggage, suitcase. Okay. Now, according to Fredrik Haren, creativity is when you put two known things together and combine in a new way, and you get something new. That is creativity. So now, if you combine these two together, what do you think you'll get? What? Come on. La? No, the loud.
Shopping cart.
Shopping cart. Okay, that's good. See, he's already thinking. Very good. Okay, now you put this together. You get this. Now, this is the luggage with the wheels, 4 wheels. Trolley had 4 wheels. The suitcase didn't have a wheel earlier. But today, this is so common. But you have to acknowledge that at one point in time, this was not there. Someone like us have imagined, saw these two things together, and they wanted to put together, and then they came up with a suitcase with the 4 wheels. Now, this has changed the travel industry completely. Yeah. Now, just look at this, for example. The creativity behind luggage. It started in the 19th century, like, even in Bhutan, it's very common with some sangku, then with the trunks, then with 2-wheel suitcases, then finally comes with 4-wheel suitcases. So creativity is basically imagining new things and valuable things from the existing ones. Now, what I want to tell you all is, convince you all is, now today in terms of the suitcases, we are here with the 4 wheels, okay? But this doesn't mean, normally if you are not creative, we take this for granted. Now we think, now this is the end. But I tell you, maybe after 5 years, there will be another next step here. We don't know what. Now it is for us to find that. Just now we feel that, Okay, now suitcase with the 4 wheels, very convenient. That's the end. No. Creativity is now we have to start thinking, what can I do more with this? How can I make things more easier, more comfortable, more convenient, say? So it doesn't stop here. It goes on, it goes on. So that is creativity. So you take any simple thing, like for example, this mic, yeah? Okay, you know what is this for? But then with a creative mind, you have to start thinking now, what else can I do with this mic? Besides talking here? I mean, endless. You can say so many things. Like that, you have to start imagining. As earlier, someone has said here, it's about imagination. So creativity is about imagination. You have to imagine, you have to start thinking, yeah? Now we will do again another quick short exercise. Now this exercise will basically tell you as a group. Earlier we did you as an individual where you fall in this creativity path, but the next exercise will be Deshinsemo and lower secondary school as a group. How you all stand in terms of this creativity path, okay? Now again, just like earlier, you have to be very honest with answering this question. So there are 3 questions I'll ask, and if it agrees to with it, please raise your hand. If not, you just keep it down, okay? So the first question is, do you think creativity is important in your school, in your life, at your home, in your work? Do you think creativity is important? Anyone saying no? Okay, so everyone says yes. Very good. Second question, do you think you are creative? You as individual. Please raise your hand. Okay, I would say around what? Around 5%. Okay, so 5% of you say you are creative. The last question, third question, do you think, since we are in a school, do you think your school is doing enough to nurture your creativity? Please raise your hand if you think it's true. You don't have to be scared of the principal, yeah. Okay, no, I've guessed this because I said earlier, I mean, this school stands out in terms of creativity. Okay, now, I got a gist of what you all like. Now, let us compare your answers with the 76 countries that Fredrik Haren has tested this question. These are questions are from his question actually. He has asked this question, these 3 questions, more than 2,000 times in 76 countries, including Bhutan. Fredrik Haren was here last month, and he asked these 3 questions to a group of educators comprising of principals, DEUs, teachers, and some students from nursing school in Pencilling at RICS. He asked this question there also. So Bhutan is also in that 76 country. Now let's see how you will compare with the averages of the 76 countries. So on the first question, the 76 countries now, 98% of people who have been asked this question, the first question, is creativity important? 98% they said yes, creativity is important. And here 100%. Yeah, you all said 100%. Even in RICS with that group, 100%. Second question, are you creative? Now these 76 countries, on average, is just about 45%. So 45% is, you can consider that as a world average. So 45% said yes, they are creative. Here I think is about 5%. Okay. And in RICS, there were about 200 of us there. There was only one. Out of 200, only one said you're creative. So RICS in that group. The third question is your organization, is your school doing enough to nurture your creativity? Again, very low, just about 2%. And here, very interesting. And as expected, I think things seems to be much better here. So your percentage was almost like, I would say around 45. I would say almost like a half have raised your hand. Now, what this says is basically, it doesn't really say that, it doesn't directly translate into real life creativity. Now, how I'm saying this is, for example, in terms of creative confidence, the North America, USA, they are considered to be supposed to have the highest creativity confidence, 95%. Okay. Similarly, Western Europe, between 60 to 80% creative confidence. Now, if you come towards the Asian side, is very low. In fact, it's the Asian countries that brings the world average down low in terms of creativity. Now, just take a guess. What would be the creativity confidence of a Singapore or Japan? You want to take a guess? Anyone? 98, 100. So normally, this is what it happens. We think that in terms of creativity confidence, Singapore and Japan, they are very developed country, very creative. Interestingly, their creativity is, according to Fredrik Haren's study, just 20%. And there's even one country in Asian that has zero confidence. When they ask this question, it was in that country, CEOs of all big companies, there were 300 of them law. And when he asked this question, are you creative? Not even one raised hand law. So therefore, the creative confidence of that country is considered zero. You want to take guess which that country is? Okay, I'll tell you. You'll be surprised. I was also surprised when I heard that for the first time. South Korea. Just imagine. So therefore, what I'm trying to say is there is not much correlation between creative confidence and creativity in real life. But the main takeaway from this talk that I'm sharing with you is, in Bhutan's case, of course, we have just two samples, one in Rick's case, one here, yeah. Especially the developing countries, the Asian countries, our creative confidence is very low, Meva. But like Korea, Singapore, Japan, even if their creative confidence is low, it's okay for them because in the real life, they're doing so many things. They are one of the most creative countries in the world, no? But in our case, like other developing countries like Bhutan, our creativity confidence by culture, because this is influenced by culture, Meva, we are more humble. We don't want to, show off. So even if you're creative, you don't want to say, I'm creative, say. So your creativity confidence is influenced by culture, your bringing up, your education, all these kinds of influencing, yeah. So therefore, creativity confidence is not directly correlated with the real creativity. But in our case, this is not good enough. We have to raise our creativity confidence because there's nothing, no creation happening in here. Of course, except for some great creations done by our Dugi Shiva, the present king, for example, the gross national happiness is a creative, The tourism policy of high value, low volume is a creative. So they are great creators, Maba. And today, when you talk about GMC, Gelephu Mindfulness City, that is creative. So great creatives there. But besides this, there's not much happening. Creativity is from the common people like us. So therefore, today what I'm trying to do is we have this opportunity to be a creative and contribute towards this nation building. Yeah. So this is what I want to say. While our creativity confidence is low, we need to improve this and which will help us to more creative love. Why is this creative confidence low? In our context, for example, why is this low? There are many reasons, but I'll just share few. First is fear of failing. To be creative, you have to be out of box. You have to be innovative. You have to be adventurous. So when you do this, there is always chance of failing. So fear of failing is one of the biggest obstacles to be a creative. So you don't want to take this risk. That one, yeah. But then we should know that failure is a pillar to success. I mean, we have all heard this. And also, just to give an example, I'm sure you all know this. You are all above class 9. So Thomas Alva Edison, who invented this bulbs, yeah, it is famously said that he has failed 10,000 times. He has failed 10,000 times before he invented this bulb. Just imagine. So you have to fail. We, just with one failure, you get scared. Oh, no, I've tried this, I'll no more say. No. So therefore, we have to get away with this fear of failure. That is number one obstacle. Number two is the so-called the standardization and the rigidity in organizations or, institutions. But of course, here we see that things are very good, and similarly elsewhere also. So most of the time, what we do is we try to follow the rules and regulations. There are certain rules and regulations. If you go a little bit outside these rules and regulations, you have broken the rules, so therefore you are penalized. So therefore, there's no room for being creative, because to be a creative, you have to go out of box. Yeah. So your rules and regulations sometimes will not allow you to go out of box. So that is also one of the reasons, one of the barriers to this, to be a creative. And then the third one is very important, is lack of appreciation. Let's say your son, your child, he does something different, something, you have never seen this. Now, instead of, because that, she's being creative actually, if you look from the creative mind, but then you as a parent, you think, oh, this is something I've never seen anything like this. Now, why she's doing silape? So instead of encouraging, you try to tell her not to do this. This is not done. I have not seen this being done anywhere. So please don't do so. So therefore, the child gets discouraged. Similarly, even in school also, if you do something creative, you need encouragement, you need appreciation, and which I think Sir Namgal is doing very well here, I think. So we need that, because if you don't give this, then the children or whoever, wants to try something, then they get discouraged. So these are the three main things that really inhibits our people to be creative. Now, how can you address this? Of course, again, there are many ways of nurturing your creative, unleashing your creativity. But I just want to share one point here, that is about mindset. The biggest change that will unleash your creativity is your mindset. Get your mindset right. You think that I have to be now imaginative. I can do this. I want to do this. Say. So if you have a right, mindset, meaning I'm not scared of failing. I want to try. As long as it is exciting, I don't get scared of trying. Yeah. So therefore, mindset, changing your mindset. So from today, I expect you all to change your mindset. Then you say, okay, now I want to be creative. I want to be the number one creative in this country and then contribute most to the nation building system. You have to start getting that mindset right. Okay, la. And it's no joke. It's going to happen. It's all in your mindset. Why are we now? Why I am trying to talk about this creativity? Why? Two reasons. One is globally. Now, globally, we know earlier, Tandin nicely touched it. We are today in the age of technology advancement. So these are almost like taking over. In fact, yesterday I was reading in some tweets from Elon Musk. They're saying by 2026, AI will be smarter than humans now. So we are already asking this question. Are artificial intelligence, the machines, are they going to really take over human beings, take over the planet Earth? Which is very scary, isn't it? Gelephu is here. Oh, Gelephu is here. I read your article in your magazine last year, the treasure. And there, actually, Gelephu has asked the same question. His title of that article is, can artificial intelligence be smarter than humans? He has asked this question in that article. So similarly, everyone is asking this question. Yeah, but please sit down. Thank you. We human beings have to now really step up and be 100 times more creative. Then we can be always ahead of these machines, because we really don't want to be under control by this artificial intelligence and machines and all. Yeah, so that is one big reason why we have to talk about this. Now, coming to Bhutan is even more important. Why we have to talk creativity now? Bhutan has embarked on two big projects. You know that. One is Gelephu Mindfulness City, and we are going to be home to the world's first mindfulness city. And it's such an ambitious project. Now, it has never happened in the world. That's going to be the first of its kind in the world. So therefore, we Bhutanese, we have to now match ourselves to that vision. Doing the same thing and expecting a different result, that's not possible, no? So, as I said earlier, let's be honest, except for our monarchs, I don't think we had many creativists from Bhutan. So now it is time, and we have actually no choice. We have to do this. To have a successful GMC, we need more creative people. We need creative monks. We need creative students. We need creative civil servants. We need creative farmers, everyone. So every one of us has to be now creative, and not just in Bhutan. We have to be the best creatives, top creatives in the world. So therefore, that's one. Second big project that we have launched on is Bhutan wants to be a developed country in another 5 to 10 years. That's another big target that we are saying. Now, doing the same thing in the same way, with the same kind of not much of a creative, I don't think. Of course, we have to achieve this. We have no choice. But then it's going to take some time, more time. But we don't have that time. So therefore, for these two reasons, one is the global one is the Bhutanese context, especially for GMC, for the success of GMC, fast tracking, for achieving our 13 5-year plan objective, make Bhutan a developed country. For this too, we need more, our people to be more creative. So this is the need of the hour. Okay, I think I've almost come to the end of my presentation. Let me conclude with a royal quote that highlights the limitlessness of human potential, of human creativity. And this quote comes from His Majesty's address at the 11th Convocation of Royal University of Bhutan in 2016. It is not a question of whether we can do something or not, whether we have enough or not, whether we are permitted or not. The question is, are we going to do it or not? This is such a profound quote from His Majesty. Now, this what basically it highlights is, it's not about your existing ability. It's not about your resources, whether you have resources or not. It's not even about rules and regulations. Earlier we said rigid rules and regulations can be an obstacle to your creativity. Yeah? Now, according to this code, it's not even about that. Then what it is about? As you can see in this code, it is about your choice, your decision, getting your mindset right. So let me now have this honor in inviting you all to begin your new journey, not just as a student, not just as a teacher, but as a creativist. Because your country needs you, your family needs you, even the world needs you. And most importantly, you need it for yourself. Because you are going to be the first and the biggest beneficiary of your success. If you ever doubt your own potential, just remember this. Someone like me at this age still believes that I can contribute to this nation building as a new creativity catalyst. You all, youth, your energy, your boundless potential, you have all the reason to believe in yourself that you can do and contribute towards this nation building. So therefore, your choice is clear, your decisions are made, you have got the right mindset now. So start imagining, start creating, make your school proud, make your country proud. And then, world out there is waiting. Let the world see your ideas. Let the world hear your creativities. And let the world feel your impact. Therefore, start today, not tomorrow, not after you graduate, from this very moment, right now. Because we all know very well, time and tide waits for no one. Thank you and Rashid Ali.